Warning. Thunder Talk contains foul language, adult subject matter, and is intended for mature audiences.
This week, we go all sideways on the Batman. Who are his real friends? Why so serious? And what's his problem anyway?
Don't swear to Batman. Swear to sexy Thor.
Beth and Kawika scrape the bottom of the barrel with Dudes and Dragons. The good doctor, Davey Adams, drops some electronica on Studio D. Sexy Thor and Lightning Lad spoil the heck out of Spider-Man Far From Home. All that plus a fresh serving of WTLK, The Thunder. And Dan's bad advice with pineapples on top. Lightning Lad, roll the thunder.
The Weirdos Workshop presents Thunder Talk. Beth, Sexy Thor, Kawika, Thunder Talk. Batman's villains are his true friends. That's my take on it. That's what I get when I watch Batman. You know, you've got Robin and Nightwing, and then there's another Robin, right?
Yeah, there's like 8 Robins.
Yeah, or like 1 through, I guess, maybe 7.
We could do like a whole episode just on Robins.
And then his son, who's the latest Robin.
Yeah, who's he had a devil baby, and that was the 8th one. I wasn't.
Don't forget about Alfred.
Oh, Alfred, yeah, Alfred, like 200 full court press. Alfred. Everybody's like, Batman, stop being Batman. It's not good for your health, your mental health, your physical health. Why are you doing this? You need to just not be Batman anymore, right?
Exactly. They're trying to hold him down and change him from his true self.
And I guess his friends, the villains, are trying to free him.
Well, see, check it out. The villains thrive on Batman. I mean, the Joker himself has made it very clear. No Batman, no Joker, right? What is it? An unstoppable force versus an immovable object kind of thing?
Yep.
Yeah. The Batman validates the villains. The villains need Batman. The villains want Batman. And the villains encourage Bruce Wayne to be a complete tool and cripple to his pain. They're total enablers. But, he wants it. He's in too deep. Batman's kind of a psychopath that way. I don't know. Change my mind? Agree with me? How does the meme go?
No, I kind of agree somewhat with you. I'm curious as to who would be his best friend, though. The best villain friend.
Yeah. Good question.
Some people would think Joker. I feel like Joker wants Batman to be his best friend.
Yeah,
but for Batman, who would he choose? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it would have to be Joker because Joker understands that big picture better than the rest of them, because I'm not quite sure that Bane or Two-Face or Riddler or all that really completely grasp that big picture of, them, both Batman and themselves being complete by having this whole tryst of beating each other up and all that together.
But also, if there are no villains and there's no Batman, and then, of course, the villains only see Batman as being someone worth going up against, because they don't care about just the police. They want Batman. If I'm going to do a crime, and if someone's going to bust me on it, it's going to be Batman. It's not going to be anyone else.
Right.
Yeah, it's not going to be Detective Bullock.
Everyone else is going to be
Batman.
insulted. Be insulting.
Exactly. And the Joker enjoys it. The Joker's kind of got a boner for Batman. He gets off on messing with Batman, and then if anyone's going to catch him, it has to be Batman. He wants the bat. He wants the bee.
He wants that bee.
I mean, this whole idea of the villains being his friend plays into another theory, and I'll connect these dots. The whole idea that the whole city is onto Batman. Like, they all know who he is. Like, he thinks the city doesn't know, but the city really knows, and they're humoring him.
Oh,
And, and have you also noticed that Arkham is probably like the least secure prison in all of the planet? Like, how often do people
get
break out of that
walk
joint?
in, walk out.
Orchestrated by Batman because he needs his friends.
Yeah. He wants to put on a good face, but he wants him to come out to play.
Well, I was going to say, it's just like one big-ass Truman Show. Beth, what's up?
Well, I had the Truman Show thought. There's also the possibility that the people that run Arkham, or maybe just the people who are on shift whenever things happen and people escape, maybe they're just bored. They're like, man, nothing's going on. Hey, it'd be really funny. Let's just let the Joker out and see what happens.
Oh my God. The true villains are the prison guards at Arkham. Because, really, any way you cut it, prison guards are, I think they're just kind of villainous.
Yeah.
Oh, politics.
I think they're on the take with Bruce Wayne. He's slipping them the money. They're deliberately letting them out. Oh, we let him out by accident. Sorry, Arkham.
There's this current story arc going on in Detective Comics right now, which is like pretty much the OG Batman stories, where it introduces the Arkham Knight into comics lore. Now, if you remember, the Arkham Knight was first introduced in that last video game back in 2015, where it's trying to be Red Hood. Literally.
So now the video games are popping up in the comic books?
Sort of. The Arkham Knight's in there, but this time the Arkham Knight is Dr. Arkham's daughter, who she was the product of Dr. Arkham, and he had this assistant who he fell in love with and married, and she was pregnant, and she was like really great with the patients and all that. Like, she had all the qualities that you would want out of a psychiatric doctor, and she was on the verge of giving birth, and there was a prison riot. But some of the inmates, including Joker, Harley, Clayface, like a lot of the famous ones, like got her into a safe area and was helping her deliver the baby. And then Batman didn't see all this going on, so he threw a batarang and it went through Clayface and it hit Dr. Arkham's wife in the jugular after she gave birth. And thus his daughter grew up hating Batman and befriending the inmates and becoming the Arkham Knight, being his crusaders. Thoughts?
It kind of lost me when it's just like, oh wait, there's an actual like Dr. Arkham, like, so that's somebody's like last name.
Everything you said after the words Detective Comics.
No, I got it. I got that somebody here probably got it, and
yeah, it was horrifying.
Respond.
Batman inadvertently killed the one dude's wife, right?
Right.
No, that's terrible.
But
somebody that is kind of like a vigilante or doing any type of like serious damage, like destroying things like Batman does, he eventually has to have like collateral damage.
Oh,
unfortunately,
for sure. The collateral damage that he causes. What's interesting about what Kawika translated for me from what I'm gathering you said is that instead of it being a building, a brick wall, another brick wall, a building, or another brick wall, this was a good person's spouse, right?
Right. And she herself was practically an angel to these patients. Like, she was treating them with the right amount of empathy and understanding and all that they needed to try to help cure them or give them their best chance of curing them, if there was any.
Civilian casualties. I don't know. See, I'm buying in less and less to this into this whole Batman business. I really am. I'm not saying the police are any better. I'm just not sure if they're any worse. No, they're worse. Yeah, they're worse.
Depends.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
it really
sorry.
depends.
Yeah.
What I do wonder is, why is the Joker so insightful? Is that because that he dates Harley Quinn? And wasn't she also a therapist of some type?
Yeah, she was a psychiatrist who was assigned to Arkham, and I think she might have specifically wanted to work with the Joker and get inside his mind, and then she ended up falling in love with him, and the rest is 90s to Suicide Squad history.
Yeah, but
she said the words Harlequin. This is Sexy Thor's wheelhouse.
Oh yeah. No, take it away, sexy.
I'm literally wearing a Harley Quinn shirt right now.
No, that's real. That's
Yay.
real. Yeah, you go look it up on the internet. Like, we'll take a picture on the internet and go look at us.
But yeah, so pretty much if you're an outside psychiatrist visiting Arkham, shit's not going to end well for you. You can end up with a batarang in the jugular, or you could be driven insane and have a horrible case of Stockholm Syndrome and dress up like a clown and, Sexy Thor
That's
represent
horrifying.
at the last Moser Halloween party.
God, that's Jesus. That's Batman.
I'm Batman.
But yeah, his collateral damage is most prevalent in anything Frank Miller or Zack Snyder wrote. Or is that purposeful damage?
Do you think Batman has become more or less violent as the years have gone through the comics?
I think that would depend on what years are we starting from. If we're going back to Frank Miller and all that, if we're going back to mid-'80s, then it's been consistently pretty violent. Then to go prior to that, we're talking about a guy that wore his underwear on the outside of his clothes, and wanted you to drink your milk because it'll build better teeth.
You're
Am
talking
I
better
right?
bat nipples.
Silver Age, Golden Age, etc.
Yeah. Right. So, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it all depends on this sort of era and writer, because, you had all super dark, Michael Keaton Batman, who was, and then, you had Batnips Batman, which wasn't so, and then you had Christian Bale Batman, which was, but didn't kill anybody, except for Ra's al Ghul, but that's a whole debate entirely. I won't kill you, but I won't save you, sort of thing.
Right.
And then you have Ben Batfleck, which killed the henchman in Batman vs Superman, and then you've got Edward Cullen Batman, which who knows? He probably won't kill, honestly.
I just want to say I love that you were using as your rating system, and that kind of made me smile.
Batman originally carried a gun.
No,
yes,
that's real.
And
That's real.
he used to just shoot people. Like, oh, you're a bad guy, pow, right in the face. So I know, hasn't there been some future comics where it's after he's gotten his back broke and everything, and he's all jacked up on pain meds and vengeance a little bit more, and he's just beating people to pulp all the time?
That sounds about right. And there's also Flashpoint Batman, which it's when his father becomes Batman after the gunman actually kills Bruce, and he's a lot more violent too.
Wow. Well, also, I can see that because a person of that time, I would think that more predisposed to violence.
What is also violent in its force, certainly not in its intention, is my love for the ESO network. Nerd Bliss is part of the ESO network. There are a lot of incredible shows to be found over there. What's that website, Chris?
ESOnetwork.com.
Go check them out. Yeah, Batman. Oh my gosh.
Who knew there was so much to talk about Batman?
Only the rare chosen few that have listened to issue 1 of Thunder Talk know that there was going to be this much Batman talk in Thunder Talk.
Lobster Thermidor.
Hello, America. You like listening to knowledgeable people who are passionate about what they do? Wilbur does, don't you, Wilbur? Well, what about Daisy? She likes to listen to shows about pop culture, movies, television, and comic books. Good thing Wilbur and Daisy found the Nerd Bliss Podcast. You, too, can find the Nerd Bliss Podcast at nerdblisspodcast.com and on the ESO Network. Just remember, Nerd Bliss is one word.
Red alert. Spoilers ahead. You ever had a trip overseas with your best friends and the girl you really like, and then all of a sudden Jake Gyllenhaal comes in with the big old fish helmet Not a helmet shaped like a fish, but a fishbowl helmet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we told you about spoilers. Yeah, no, that's really, you're sending me down a rabbit hole. Yeah, that's pretty much my entire summer, 2006. Though Jake Gyllenhaal was wearing an actual, like a fish-shaped helmet. It was pretty cool. It was a good summer. Yeah, we're talking Spider-Man Far From Home. We'll begin with the end. We liked it, right?
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah,
Loved it.
It was hilarious, wonderful action, wonderful story. I was like in it the whole time. A lot unlike Dark Phoenix.
Oh no, I would say the last time I was hospitalized, I could say that I enjoyed that more than Dark Phoenix. Yeah,
I believe that.
Yeah, spoiler alert: Dark Phoenix sucked. Yeah, Far From Home, Spider-Man Far From Home,
Wonderful.
Did not. How long after Avengers does Far From Home begin?
Like hours after Endgame. I'm sure it's
Really?
like, yeah, but I'm sure it's like a couple of days to a week because we start off with an in memoriam. So and of course it takes a good while for the world to take in, what the just happened. Like,
Right.
Half the population that disappeared 5 years ago is back, and BT dubs, we're now like -3 major heroes that we've worshipped over the last.
Yeah, Nick Fury does make a comment that he would have reached out to Spider-Man at the funeral, Tony Stark's funeral, but he felt that would have been in bad taste.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the average time between a death and a funeral is anywhere between 4 days to 2 weeks, and they would have had a lot of people they had to get together. I mean, think about how many scheduling conflicts one could possibly have when trying to get together a group like that for your funeral. So we're looking at least, I'm thinking weeks after Endgame. The world is moving forward. Everybody who was snapped is back, but it's not called, they call it the
blip.
The blip. Yeah. So as we call it the snap or the snapping here on Earth, whatever we are right now, in Earth 616, which they also establish.
Yep.
The snap tore a hole in our dimension.
You're saying there's a multiverse?
They call it the blip. So after the blip, where Spider-Man is grappling with this notion that he needs to fill Tony Stark's shoes, and that indeed Tony Stark had left both objects, instructions, inferences, and just downright plot devices, all pointing towards, that Iron Man did die, or going into his potential and then actual death, that Peter Parker would be picking up his mantle.
Everywhere I go, I see his face. I just really miss him.
Yeah, I miss him too.
I don't think Tony would have done what he did if he didn't know that you were going to be here after he was gone.
Yeah.
So he's got that on his shoulders as a school trip. They're going to Europe. Everyone's going to Europe. And all of his high school classmates that mattered apparently were also snapped. So they've also come back the same age.
And even Aunt May was apparently blipped.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Because she was talking about how when she came back, she went to her home and there was like this new family there, and the wife thought that she was her husband's mistress.
Oh, serious?
Yeah.
Was I using the restroom when that happened? I don't remember that at all.
Maybe it was towards the beginning when she was talking at that fundraiser for support of people.
I was just so happy to be there, bro. I probably missed half of the things they said. Another reason to go back and see it, which I will. I know you talk and say stuff.
Oh yeah, so Mysterio's full of shit.
This is Mr. Beck.
We could have used someone like you on my world.
Your world? Beck is from Earth, just not ours.
And it actually kind of leads back to a theme that was started in Iron Man 3 about Tony Stark's demons.
Yeah, that was interesting. You just got done watching Iron Man 3 today, didn't you?
Yeah, and it just like connected
Rewatching,
everything
I should
because
say.
It had felt like a recurring theme that I had seen somewhere when we watched it because, Quentin Beck, Mysterio, he created the BARF program that was seen in the beginning of Civil War.
Right.
And he was working with the scientist that Obadiah Stane was yelling at the beginning, or in the first Iron Man, where he's like, Tony Stark built this in a cave.
Yeah.
With
right?
a box of scraps.
With a box of scraps.
Scraps.
Yeah. Man, you had to have Tron yelling at me. Like if my boss's partner were Tron, and if it were my boss that got Tron to yell at me, I would definitely be pissed at my boss. I would harbor some resentment, maybe focus my life on some type of ultimate violent public revenge, which is what's happening in Far From Home. Mysterio, it's not just Jake Gyllenhaal. He has an entire team of Stark Industries employees that have all banded together to destroy Tony Stark, or in this case, his legacy.
Yeah.
And to take over the mantle. To take his mantle, to be like, we're the ones that should be superheroing around because we're the real heroes.
Yeah.
So it's interesting you bring up Iron Man 3. The entire premise was demons.
Yeah,
right?
Because of course, as we know, New Year's Eve 1999, Aldrich Killian brought the idea of AIM to Tony, but he was drunk and trying to have sex with I forget her name. Rebecca Hall's
the woman that created the
Maya Hansen.
Maya Hansen, created Extremis. Well, not only did he ignore Aldrich Killian, he was a dick and said, "Meet me on the roof."
Yeah,
go meet me on the roof. I'll be there in 5 minutes, and then ghosts the dude.
Yeah, and Killian was waiting there all night, and he pretty much like had a moment of despair and was about to just jump off the roof and kill himself. And then he was just like, "Nah, f this. I'm going to build the company, and then I'm going to f Tony Stark hard."
And, that's because Tony Stark is, among
an asshole.
Many other things, a prick. A mean-spirited person who grows and evolves and becomes better, but even then...
Yeah, because this was all started because Quentin Beck had more ideas concerning the BARF program, and Tony said he was unstable and fired him.
It's the same notion, but it's the demons that Tony Stark created post-Iron Man.
Yeah.
After his... awakening, of his personal awakening, if you will.
Yeah, and getting past the alcoholism and all that, he's still...
Right. Those are the bad guys. And it's Spider-Man that has to deal with Tony's demons now. Oh my gosh. Not only does he have to deal with like the mantle of hero and protector that Tony Stark has left behind, he also has to deal with Tony's baggage. Right? Tony's trash that he forgot to take out. The mess that he made.
Yeah.
Personally, privately, professionally.
Because pretty much all of the villains that Iron Man's dealt with, like the first movie was Obadiah, which is his name. Iron Man 2 is Anton Vankov, who his father had his father exiled.
So all 3 Iron Man movies, along with, and I'm gonna argue, Age of Ultron, and Spider-Man: Far From Home, are all dealing with Tony Stark's baggage.
Yeah.
Right? The messes, the spilt social milk of his life. Having to wipe that up.
It's either Tony Stark's baggage or Thor's baggage.
Oh yeah. No, this time we're dealing with Tony Stark's baggage. Yeah.
Most of it is Stark's.
Yeah. No, hopefully we'll be getting as Guardians of the Galaxy, and that'll be a whole metric F-ton of Thor's baggage. We'll talk about you later, bro. I promise.
It's all about me.
It's all about that sexy Thor life. Nick Fury is there. Nick Fury hijacks Peter Parker's entire trip. Not only hijacks it, is in like, hey, Peter Parker, you got something for me? That's like my favorite line in Endgame. But anyway, I digress.
Captain Marvel's amazing. We know this.
Captain Marvel's amazing. Captain Marvel's the best. Nick Fury from behind the scenes is pretending to be this travel agency that keeps redirecting Peter's class to various places around Europe in order to coincide with the need, whatever needs he has for Spider-Man.
I need an Avenger.
What about Thor?
Off-world.
Doctor Strange.
Unavailable.
Captain Marvel.
Don't invoke her name.
And I really want to know the name of the tour company that was sort of arranging their trips, because I feel like it would be something not like super on the nose, like Fury Agency or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But be like Travel Shield.
Yeah, right.
We protect you from bad trips.
Yeah. MJ is all over this movie, and that's awesome. Played by Zendaya.
Yeah.
She's the best. I'm really glad that I don't feel like we got enough of her in Homecoming. Though, I mean, story-wise, that's not a knock to the film. she's so rad. Yeah, you'd want more of her, and she is a strong supporting character in this. We're getting a lot of her. She finds out he's Spider-Man.
MJ, I
am Spider-Man.
No, of course I'm not.
I mean, it's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and she even said that the clues were starting to get into place with her ever since Washington, D.C., when they were on the academic decathlon trip, and Peter disappeared, and all of a sudden Spider-Man comes in and saves the rest of the team in the Washington Monument.
Right. No, totally. I mean, she's smart, and he's a noob when it comes to hiding his identity, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's that was very logical. That seemed very natural. There was nothing forced about him being revealed to MJ. That worked out great. Ned, as always, is rad. Ned, I think, has more of a backseat in this movie. I think a lot of the space that he occupied in the first one, function-wise, and even functionally near the end, it was filled in by MJ.
But they were able to move him back to play some comic relief, doing the whole cutesy couple thing with Betty Brant.
Oh yeah, no, Ned hooks up with Betty Brant, the young woman who does the school news.
Yeah,
who's one of the co-anchors on the school news. Which the movie opens up with. What's the name of his school? Super awesome Queens Science Academy.
Yeah, Midtown something wherever.
Something, yeah.
Of science.
But you remember those super rad school news scenes they had in Homecoming? Yeah, this movie. I don't even want to give that away. I know this is chock full of spoilers, but I don't want to give away the first just few minutes of the movie. That's such a total treat.
Because it's pretty great, because it starts in the Marvel Studios opening credits and then goes into...
Yeah. I like
it's a treat.
It's very much a treat. So yeah, Betty, what's her name again?
Betty Brant.
Betty Brant, yeah. And Ned...
Betty Brant.
Can you say it 5 times fast?
Ugh. Betty Brant.
No, same here.
Thunder Talk exclusive.
All right, I am privileged to have a dear friend of mine up here in Studio D tonight, Davey, the good Dr. Adams. How you doing, dude?
Pretty good. How about you?
Doing all right. Thanks for asking. You're not too proud to ask. Yeah, I'm good, friend. How are you? Thank you very much. How's California doing? How my homeland's holding up with all this earthquake business?
Well, it's actually funny. I didn't even feel the first one. Apparently, people were saying they felt it as far away as the ocean.
Right.
I'm a lot closer to Ridgecrest than they are, but I didn't feel the first one at all. I slept right through it. And then the second one that went off the other night, we were sitting on the couch, and I thought the couch was shaking just because my girlfriend was like kicking her legs.
Right.
And then I realized, wait a second, I think there's an earthquake going on. So we went outside and we're like watching the power lines kind of sway. But they weren't even really that bad where we are.
Right.
Apparently it did some damage to Ridgecrest, though, from what I've seen.
Yeah, no, I used to have family in Ridgecrest. I used to spend a lot of time in Ridgecrest, actually. That's, I hope they're doing all right.
Yeah.
It's funny, living out here, everyone's like, oh my God, did you hear about the earthquakes? Did you hear California is falling down again? And it's like, you're native born, you're like me. Yeah, there's earthquakes. I'll certainly take the risk of that over a hurricane.
Right.
or the whole state flooding. Yeah.
I'll tell you. I mean, of all the earthquakes I've ever experienced in my life, it's been a lot because I've lived here my entire life. And I'd say the only one that really ever scared me, I think, was the 94 Ridgecrest one. That one was pretty weird.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you mean the Northridge? The Northridge quake?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's it.
Oh, dude, one day I'll tell you the story. My parents were in it. They were in Tarzana up on the hill. They were trapped there with my siblings for 4 days. Yeah.
4 days?
Yeah, I was 14. I threw a rager.
Jesus.
14, 15. Yeah, I took full advantage of that. being out in Hemet. But no, it's it was pretty gnarly. Pretty gnarly.
I thought my house was gonna fall down. I think I was maybe 11 at the time or 12. I can't remember, but like my house was like swaying side to side. I thought it was gonna collapse.
Yeah, no, the Northridge quake was something else. That was the big one.
Yeah,
that really was the big one. I remember growing up as a kid. It's always like, oh my God, the big one's coming. Look out! If Reagan doesn't nuke us all first, the big one's gonna get you.
Yeah, exactly. I remember seeing the freeway falling down on people.
Yeah,
that was crazy. And that wasn't even too many years after the San Francisco one. That was pretty gnarly too.
Oh yeah, no, San Francisco won 89.
I think 89.
I want to say during the World Series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I watched that on TV and heard it on the radio. Yeah, that was that was something else. Something else. Earthquake live.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for coming on the show tonight. I really do appreciate it. You're one of the coolest people I know. Your politics are on point. You're as much of a history buff as I am. Your nerd game is strong. You know it is. I know some of the crowds you roll in. You can't be all talking, Star Wars or Star Trek or whatever it is that's getting you going. But that's my jam. That's my jam, definitely.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that.
Oh, dude. Hey, I'm glad we're finally able to have some quality time together.
Yeah. You're
also a musician.
Yeah.
On top of all that, you're a musician. If I didn't love you so much, I'd be jealous as hell. I wouldn't even be able to look at you.
I've always said I'm not, because most of the bands I've been in, I sing. I always tell people I'm not a musician, I'm a singer. But I guess technically I do make electronic music too, so there's a little bit of musicianship there. And I can play guitar and bass slightly. But I'm not very good.
So you're a musician and a singer.
Yeah, mostly a singer, but I make some of my own music. I mean, it's really what got me into making electronic music in the first place is that I can't play anything worth a damn. So it was easier for me to use these programs to kind of like synthesize my own music.
It's the 21st century, dude. It's all music. It's all music. Yeah. I mean, you don't like autotune? I'll fight you about it. I'm okay with autotune. I'm okay with all that.
Right.
All that. Let's talk about your music. Let's talk about this electronica you've been dropping.
Well, let's see. As far as my electronic stuff goes, I've been making that since about 2009.
Okay.
So I got into it because my buddy Jonas, he ended up getting a MacBook, and he started recording a lot of his own music through there, and then he would also use it. We would jam and like kind of made like this black metal project called Veratu that we did for quite some time. Nice. Veratu was kind of inspired by like conspiracy theory, like MK Ultra government experiments and HARP weather altering technology, stuff like that. So then I got my own laptop and I started making music. And like I said, I couldn't play any instruments really very well, so I was mostly making this electronic stuff, like loops and samples and stuff. And I started it using that same mentality of like conspiracy theory. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't really believe in most of the stuff, but I think it's just entertainment. So I always liked that about it.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, you can believe in the moon landing and still sing about the richness of the idea of like Capricorn 9, that the whole thing is a joke,
Yeah, precisely, yeah. And so that's basically where it comes from, is like that's how I started off, and that's where the name Good Doctor comes from, because it's based off of, there was one of those, I don't know, there's a lot of it shrouded in secrecy, so I don't know how much of it's the truth or not, but like there was supposedly a scientist named Philip Schneider who worked for the government. He headed up like the MK Ultra experiments, and they gave him a lot of really weird names like the Dirty Trickster and the Black Trickster, and the Good Doctor was one of the names. So I co-opted that for myself and like kind of did this project based off of like my music was gonna like manipulate people mentally and like cause them to be crazy and do crazy things.
That's awesome. That's kind of like the creative persona you went into it with.
Yeah, pretty much as a character, and like that's just spun off as over the years.
Nice. Yeah, I know you. Don't you go by The Good Doctor when you do Wasteland?
I do. Yeah, I've been doing Wasteland since 2011, and at first I didn't really have like a Wasteland name or anything. Everybody kind of gets their own Wasteland name, either by it's given to you or sometimes people give them themselves just because nobody ever gives them a good name. And that's basically what happened to me after I went for my 4th year, I think 2015. And I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to be the Good Doctor out here too. And so I went whole hog and like built all my costume around like the Good Doctor being a crazy post-apocalyptic mad scientist.
Nice. You know I dig about Wasteland. I mean, I've never been, but just somebody that goes to the cons, the conventions and such, Dragon Con, Treklana, stuff like that. Yeah, Wasteland is nerd shit, dude.
Oh yeah, it's way nerd shit.
Total nerd shit.
That's like I've been trying to get like Colt to go hang out with like some of the smaller parties that I do, and Colt's like, "F***ing Wasteland is nerd shit," and I'm like, "Yeah, it is, but come on, you're still gonna have a good time."
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes Colt is too punk for his own good. I'm calling you out. Calling you out, Mr. Coons. Calling you out.
Yeah. Like, I think that at one point, like, I was really trying to get Gun 'Em Down, our old band, to play at Wasteland. Like, this is back when it was still much smaller, so we probably had a better chance. But and it seemed like most of the guys were in on it, but then the band ended up breaking up. And so we never really got a chance. I've always wanted to play Wasteland, so maybe one day I'll get a band that can actually do it.
Dress up like Tina Turner and get a blind dude with a saxophone. And they will give you center stage.
They just might.
You can find The Good Doctor on Bandcamp. Go ahead and follow him on Facebook. Again, that's The Good Doctor. This next track is off the album Night Driver. Meet Me at the Robot Star. Coming at you now.
is a 30-second ad spot for the Black Market Toast podcast, where we take a piece of media out of the cupboard, dust it off, toast it up, and serve it as something completely new.
What?
Well, it means we either listen to or watch a movie or TV show or piece of music, and then...
It's not like we just use whatever media we pick as a conversation starter.
Well, because it's fun, okay? Listen to it on your podcatcher of choice, and follow us on Facebook or something.
Across the rainbow bridge of Asgard, where the booming heavens soar, you'll behold in breathless wonder the god of thunder, mighty Thor.
Hello, Demogorgons. It's Mjolnir Monday, July 8th. I'm Sexy Thor, and it's time for your Weekly Thunder. So, Spider-Man Far From Home came out on Tuesday, and unlike Dark Phoenix, it was the exact opposite of hot garbage. It was fantastic. It had all the fun and action and humor and heart and everything you could ever want in a Spider-Man movie. The MCU stepping up their game as usual. Definitely stay for the post-credits. Favorite comic book this week is Walking Dead 193. Robert Kirkman announced it literally the day before. This is the final issue in the Walking Dead series, and it was really good too. Nice little wrap up. People that were pissed off by how the TV show's going should definitely pick it up and read it. Just a nice little, oh hey, like come on. Walking Dead's basically a multiverse now, except we don't really have any supernatural or magic elements in this particular world, so nobody thinks to call it a multiverse, but it's basically a multiverse. So yeah, fare thee well, Walking Dead comic books. You're amazing, Thunder Faithful. Thank you for listening both to Thunder Talk and your Weekly Thunder, and if you're a newcomer, welcome. That was your Weekly Thunder for July 8th. I'm Sexy Thor, and love you, mean it. Hail, Thunder Faithful. Do you want to listen to Sexy Thor just talk off the top of his head with a vague outline? So does Sexy Thor. Then join your favorite Asgardian every Mjolnir Monday as he talks about Marvel, DC, and what happens in the WWE in a way that I try to make listenable to wrestling fans and non-fans alike, even with an Alexa Bliss love fest so on point you might think I'm Corey Graves. Don't know who Corey Graves is? Listen to Weekly Thunder and find out. I'm your host, Sexy Thor, and remember to drink, fight, and make your ancestors proud by listening to your Weekly Thunder.
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can, spins a web any size.
Spoilers are coming in this segment, Randall.
Randall? Spoilers, Randall.
Don't listen if you haven't heard if you haven't seen the motion picture, Randall.
Skeletor to King Randor! Skeletor to King Randor! Come in, you royal boob!
Oh gosh, what else? Let's see. Oh yeah, no, there's a great scene at the end with MJ and Spider-Man swinging around New York.
Never doing that again. I'm never doing that again.
Those post-credit scenes.
Oh, the post-credit scenes. Nick Fury and Maria Hill the entire time are Skrull. Not only are they Skrull, but it's, what's his name?
Talos and his wife.
Talos and his wife. You know, Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah.
Right? Talos from Captain
Director
Marvel.
Krennic.
Yeah. Is Nick Fury the entire movie until he calls Nick Fury, who's on a spaceship.
Bitch, please, you've been to space.
With a bunch of Skrulls. With his shoes off, relaxing in a holographic room on the beach.
Yeah.
But he's
Which
also...
I almost thought was like a callback to Tahiti.
To Tahiti. No, that's, that's because it's the same effects they use in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Tahiti involving Coulson.
Yeah.
Well, y'all can leave comments below. Just point at the bottom of the screen there. Oh wait, you're listening to this. Anyway, yeah, just internet us that. Yeah, which is awesome because Talos is awesome.
Yeah.
And what else?
And J. Jonah Jameson of the MCU.
As in and the same actor that played J. Jonah Jameson in the Tobey Maguire movies.
J.K. motherfucking Simmons.
Is like some kind of trashy Fox News TV troll now. revealed Mysterio apparently sent a transmission to MCU Fox News like equivalent of what does Mysterio tell the world?
Spider-Man's unleashed all these drones to attack London, which even contains doctored footage of where Spider-Man was originally ordering the drones to stand down. Right. It was doctored to reveal that Spider-Man was actually sending the drones out to fuck everything up.
Right.
And that his real identity is Peter Parker.
That's right. The very last scene, it's the post credit, if I'm not mistaken.
It was the first post credit.
It was the first post credit scene where J. Jonah Jameson comes on. It's Times Square, comes on a big TV, announces to the world that Spider-Man killed Mysterio because people thought Mysterio was a hero. He was never exposed, was he?
Nope.
He was never publicly exposed. It's a recording Mysterio sent to the news saying, Spider-Man's killing me. I'm a good guy, and he's totally not. But then he further records, Spider-Man is Peter Parker.
And on a New York City billboard screen,
yes,
you see Tom Holland's mug right there.
Yeah.
So the whole world knows that this is that Peter Parker.
It's that Peter, not some other Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Peter Parker from Topeka, Kansas.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Peter Parker from Pueblo, Colorado. No, this is the Peter Parker. Yeah. So what did you think of Spider-Man Far From Home? What did you think about our thinkings about Spider-Man Far From Home? Go ahead and hit us up. Steven, what are you doing, dude? Turn that shit off.
Sorry.
Please, sorry. That's not... so what did you think about Far From Home? What did you think about our thinkings about Far From Home out loud? Go ahead and hit us up at... what's our email address? It's brand new. Thunder Talk Podcast? ThunderTalkPodcast at gmail.com. Hold on, let me verify that.
I think you've only told me like a grand total of one time ever.
Hold on, everybody. It's hit us up at ThunderTalkPodcast at gmail.com. That's ThunderTalkPodcast at gmail.com. I promise you, no matter what you send us, we will read it on the air. You want to send us a sound file? We prefer a WAV. MP3 will work. Send us a sound file. We will 100%, no matter what it is, we will play it on the air. Guaranteed. 100%.
Sexy guaranteed.
That's a sexy guarantee right there. We have to beep it out and stuff. I mean, we don't need any of those.
Yeah.
We're
trying to adult in the world.
Yeah. But, send us anything. Send us anything to thundertalkpodcast at gmail.com. We love you. I mean, I love you. I don't want to speak for you, Sexy Thor.
No, I love you too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Bye. Good night. Oh, wait. No, we got more show. Stick around. There's more show. There'll probably be a commercial coming up right now.
Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Wealth and fame, he's ignored. Action is his reward to him.
Hello. Have you ever wondered how much Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster sold Superman's rights to DC for? Or which popular football star was the Sam Wilson the Falcons' physical appearance based on? You can find all that and more at the History of Comic Books podcast, a podcast dedicated to the creators, events, history, and the companies that made the great comic book medium. Hosted and created by your friendly neighborhood JT Wheatley. Please give it a listen at iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, and all our podcasting platforms. Thank you, and go ahead and enjoy yourself a good comic book.
Do you like bad wigs? Do you like blue flames? Do you like passable special effects? Then are you in for a treat? Because we have a fresh new segment for you called Bottom of the Barrel. And we're going to tell you all about dudes and dragons.
In the cradle of civilization, a ferocious beast has been awakened.
It's a fantasy. It's a fantasy film.
Yeah, it's available on Amazon Prime, which Amazon Prime has a sweet, sweet list of movies that are just
horrible.
Yeah.
and amazing at the same time.
And this movie is from 2015, which honestly, it felt slightly, just a little bit older than that.
Well, even though it came out in 2015, it could have been in production much earlier. And from the amount of cast and stuff, it wasn't very many people. So you'd probably imagine it didn't have a lot of people working on it. So it might have taken quite a bit of time before they were able to get it out on straight to streaming. It's like kind of like how it used to be straight to DVD type of stuff. This is straight to streaming.
Straight to streaming, for sure. So what'd you think? We haven't talked about it. We actually just finished watching it. What did you think, Kawika?
I thought it was pretty well done. As far as something very outlandish, it is the type of movie that you have to be looking for as far as kind of terrible. Do you like terrible movies? Do you like things that are kind of special? Then you might like this. And also, it's fantasy. I mean, clearly, dudes and dragons, fictional realm, evil sorcerer, dragons. You have the heroes. You even had like a cameo spot by
Luke Perry.
Luke Perry.
Yeah.
And what will your excuse be this time? Your horsey scared again?
You leave horsey out of this.
So we role play a bit, and I've role played a lot in my past, and so I have an affinity towards these type of things. Like some type of fantasy realm, and it's almost like a module or a role-playing adventure kind of movie.
I could see that.
Like where people were like, "Oh, man, this role-play session was great. Let's make a movie about it."
That's hilarious. So I took some notes while we were watching the movie.
I know, I saw.
But a quick overview of the movie is there's this Lord Tinsley who's an evil magician, right? Sorcerer.
Yeah.
Let's use the right words. And he is in love with his cousin.
You promised to marry me while you plotted my death.
It was bound to fail. Love between blood is an abomination.
It is very common in some cultures.
So, okay, before we go any further, spoiler alert for Dudes and Dragons. It has been out for 4 years, so it's not like it's something new. But if you want to watch it, maybe go look it up. It's on Amazon Prime. Watch it, and then come back and listen to us.
I was just giving an overview, wife.
Okay.
So he's in love with his cousin, and she won't have him. So he has captured her, and he has a dragon that he is using to kill anyone that can find that is in love. You can't show love or this dragon will kill you.
So you have the main characters, and there's a couple main characters. The lead, he's not even really the lead. I would say, what's his name is the lead?
Cam?
Not Cam.
His brother. Ram something?
Yes.
I can't remember.
Anyway, but Cam is dressed up like you would imagine like Legolas / He-Man, but he's not a smart person. This is not a smart character.
I am skilled in the arts of warfare.
You are handy with the tiny blade. The way you shave around the nipple, it's mesmerizing.
He's like young and in love. He's a little bit naive. Probably thinks he's a little more badass than he really is. And he wants to slay the dragon to save his fiance.
Now Cam's brother, who's the main lead, Ramses or something?
No.
Ralpheus?
No.
I don't know what it is.
No.
It begins with an R. It could be Ronald. Well, anyway, he's a bounty hunter, and he goes around fighting dragons and collecting bounties from people. He has his sidekick is this
an orc.
An orc.
I in my notes I had him as Orc Chewbacca. Because he is basically Orc Chewbacca. I mean, come on.
He is Orc Chewbacca. He never speaks English. You never understand what he's saying. It's all like,
And only, I think it's Ramicus is the only one that can understand what he's saying. So he's totally like Dudes and Dragons, Han Solo. And then he has his sidekick who's like an orc Chewbacca.
In this movie, there are several throwbacks and homages to Star Wars and several other movies. And if you watch it, you'll catch them pretty quickly.
Help me if you want to hold me. You're my only hope.
Yeah, I'm looking at my notes here. I have some notes. Let's see. Great uses of slow-mo. There's some slow-mo in there that's really good. And those blue flames, I felt like all the special effects in the movie weren't so terrible that I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. But at the same time, they were just like passable. They weren't really that good.
Yeah, they had some moments where they tried to pull a 300. So if you've ever watched 300, where it has some of those type of lighting effects kind of
lighting
desaturated.
Effects. So to kind of cover up the fact that their special effects weren't really that good.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh no, those were amazing. And let's see. Oh yeah, there's like the witch Belvita. And when they first introduced her, my note is her name Belvita?
Yeah. The entire time we're watching this, and of course, like most couples, we'll mention somebody's name, and her name forevermore will be Velveeta.
Velveeta. Yeah. She's Velveeta now. It's fine.
Dragon Warriors, Dragon Warriors, Dragon Warriors everywhere.
Okay, when it comes down to it, Kawika, would you suggest someone watch this movie?
I give this a 7 out of 10 for overall quality. As far as a watch, it is a great watch for, is it a cold day outside? Are you sitting huddled up inside your house under a pile of blankets and you're just kind of scrolling through your phone anyway? This is perfect for that.
Yeah, I would say if you like bad movies, like fantasy movies, totally watch it.
If you want a silly movie and you're just up for an interesting afternoon watch while you're laying around on your couch, we recommend Dudes and Dragons.
Dudes and Dragons.
Warriors, Dragon Warriors.
When last we tuned in, we were talking about collateral damage caused by Batman is now escalated to killing good people in video games. And the Joker really has a boner for him. Right, Beth?
Heck yes.
I want to know, what is Batman going to be like in the future?
What, you mean like Batman
Space
Beyond?
Batman. Yeah, like
Spaceman. No.
Well, there was this boy called Terry McGinnis in this new Gotham.
Yeah, that's Batman Beyond.
Derek Powers killed his dad, so he broke into Bruce Wayne's house and stole a suit.
Yeah, but it turned out, what's the name? Okay, in the Suicide Squad movie, the character, the government agent who is orchestrating the entire Suicide Squad idea, what's her name?
Amanda Waller.
Amanda Waller was introduced in Batman Beyond. I don't know if that's where she was introduced, but that's when I first knew that that's a character in the DC universe. It was an episode of Batman Beyond that actually was a flashback to the days of Batman. Turns out that Amanda Waller orchestrated Terry McGinnis's birth. She actually shanghaied DNA from Bruce Wayne, because if you listen to episode 1 of this, everybody knows Bruce Wayne is Batman, and they're all just amusing him. Yeah, took his DNA and used it to she zapped Terry McGinnis' mom with that stuff. And so Terry McGinnis is actually Bruce Wayne's son.
I do remember finding that out years later. I didn't know the whole conclusion of that until while I was watching the show as a kid when it was on air. But, watching it all again, reading about it years later, I was like, Okay, that makes sense. I guess.
Kawika brought up a great question in the last this that we did. In terms of his villains, which one does Batman love the most? Again, it's the villains that love him the most. It's the villains that validate him being Batman. The people that say they love him are like, stop, don't do it. Catwoman or Batgirl, Commissioner Gordon. Everybody's the Robins. Don't be Batman. Don't be Batman anymore. The villains are like, no, keep being Batman. We need you to be. People want to know, which one does Batman love the most?
I would say Catwoman, just because,
Me too.
We know he has a boner for her, so.
Yeah, no, that's legit. I'm not going to lie. My first instinct was like, well, but then, yeah, no, you're totally right. You're totally right. That's something that Joker just can't, Joker would love to do it for him, but I just
he
don't
would
think
love
that's,
to.
yeah, right?
Joker would love to. He would totally get down with that.
Batman loves Joker more like a cousin or a little brother who's 10 years younger, who it's like, I love you, but you annoy the piss out of me and I'm always cleaning up your messes.
It's like the trashy, homicidal version of Thor and Loki's dynamic.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it.
But yeah, Batwoman and Catwoman make sense too, because both of their identities fell in love with each other.
Oh my God, that kind of legitimizes it all right there, doesn't it?
Indeed.
What would Batwoman's and Batman's child be called if they were a superhero? Superhero name.
Batlad. Batlad. I'm Team Batlad on that. Chris.
Batlad.
That's lame.
I don't know. I don't know. Batflack. No, not Batflack. I don't know.
Batflack.
Batflack.
Yeah, okay, Batflack. I would go for Batflack.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Batflack.
So
Batflack.
You're saying their child is going to sell insurance? Is that
No, that's, yeah.
I don't know. Somebody in the Wayne family needs to be selling insurance. They'd be making a killing.
Somebody in that family needs an honest job.
That's true, especially since Affleck is supplemental insurance. So I think Batman should have an accident plan.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah.
If Thanos can have a retirement plan, Batman needs an accident plan.
That makes sense. That's the, you know what, everybody out there in internet radio land, that just makes good financial sense. You need to go and call your financial planner right now, start talking about your 401ks and your nest egg. And if maybe bat-shaped bomb grenades are being thrown at you in the name of vigilante justice, yeah. I'm sure someone out there can hook you up with that too. And tie it in with your car and your boat and your house. You'll save that.
And
way.
your bat cave.
And your second boat.
And your second bat boat.
Has Batman ever made clones of himself? And if not, why?
Well, how many Earths does DC have?
Oh yeah, so many.
That's true. At least 52. Also, I don't think Batman has any clones, because then he would have to come up with contingency plans for those clones, because he does have contingency plans for if any member of the Justice League went rogue. So if he made clones, he'd have to create contingency plans on how to defeat those rogues. And I'm sorry, even for him, that's too much.
Yeah, can it be crazy? All of a sudden, something happens, Batman dies, and then out pops up from underneath of the Batcave. There's 6 different vats where all these Batmans just kind of raise out of the steam. Then what happens?
Yeah,
now you have 6 Batmans.
That's why he and Waller shanghaied and created Terry McGinnis inside Mrs. McGinnis.
6 sick Batmans will be the name of the 8 to 12 issue story arc, where Kawika's like, hey, Bruce, Batman, clone yourself. There's some Star Wars about that you can research. And then, it all goes to shit because, it always goes to shit.
There's not enough room in Gotham City for the ego of 6 Batmans. I'm just saying.
Well, then you would have a Batman for the mini cities. Metropolis could have its own Batman, and Jump City could have its own Batman.
Ooh.
Coast City really needs its own Batman.
It's
because
kinda
all
like-
that they have is Green Lantern.
It's like the Dread Pirate Roberts. It's a franchise. You have a Batman in every city.
No, it's totally,
Yeah,
it's
there
totally
you
a
go.
franchise. Yeah, right. That's a good idea. Batman, get on that cloning.
I feel like we'd be one of the clones, like in Multiplicity.
Yeah. But which one though? Everybody we're going to
Yeah, there's like a
Multiplicity.
dumb clone
Wikipedia.
too.
No, yeah, the third clone
Yeah.
was a dumb
I
clone.
like pizza, Steve.
One was an effeminate stereotype. I think that movie dropped like 93, something like that. Then the second one was like this like macho sport guy sex machine. And then the third one was like when you take, I think the way they explain it is when you have a videotape, VHS video cassette, and you keep recording over it over and over again, how it degrades the quality.
I was gonna, yeah.
Yeah, because it was a
you're
clone
ahead
of
of
a
me on that one.
clone.
What happens when you find out that you're the dumb clone?
Well, I think even further, what happens when Batman finds the dumb Batman clone?
And then it turns out we've been following the dumb Batman clone all along.
Wait a second. Is the dumb Batman clone Robin?
Oh. Again, we right. DC,
At least one of the Robins is the dumb Batman clone.
That's Jason Todd.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I think you might be right. And Robin's too embarrassed to let him know that he's the parent, so he told Batman that his parents are dead.
Showstopper.
I know. I killed the podcast with that one. Podcast over. #fail.
I want to get back to the Batman fighting the third clone, as in Batman has already fought and defeated his other clones. Oh my God. Okay, here's an angle. All of the clones represent a part of his personality, his drive, his id, his ego, super ego, that kind of stuff, right? And defeating them, like, it's like every issue after you establish like the first 3-4 issues, 5, 6, 7, 8, is him just dedicated having to take out one of these Batmans that are significant foes and threats. But then he gets to the derpy Batman.
Yeah.
What does he do?
I feel like he brings him in like it's like the mother-in-law plan where, you just kind of set them up in a bedroom or an adjacent apartment. You can't kill it.
Send him to Arkham. He would be the only one dumb enough to actually stay there.
Let's take this further, because if the other Batmans that he had to take out had malicious intent and they had to go, even though the other the copy of copy, the degraded copy of Batman, who's to say that they still don't have malicious intent? And in fact, what was that movie with? Oh, never mind.
Hey, that does bring up something interesting. Don't we usually not attribute malicious intent to people of a certain...
That's a stereotype. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. That's exactly what
facility,
Yeah. And going beyond that, being able to actually conceive of a plan whose worldview and outlook is so radically different from, well, certainly Batman's and what the rest of society has deemed to be this or that acceptable, whose outlook is so different that indeed they're operating on a level, on a mastermind type level that Batman cannot relate to, and actually ends up being the ultimate orchestrator of all of this.
So did Batman kill the other Batmans?
Yeah, no,
Or did he just,
they're already dead.
They're dead. He didn't like hit them with like some tranquilizer gas or something like that.
Well, he was able to justify it to himself because it's like they're him. You know what I mean? So he figured he considers it more some kind of sadomasochistic self-harm, but I have a Jesus complex, so I'm going to do it anyway. Like, that's how he resolves it.
Batman has to have some PTSD.
No, Batman is only PTSD. That's what's making the character kind of starting to run out of gas in terms of holding my interest. Sorry. And I just realized that I totally ripped off You guys ever seen the movie Usual Suspects?
Yes.
Yes.
Nope.
Oh, you should check it out. But that's 100%. Well, 85% Usual Suspects. And I was like, oh yeah, cool. But then I'm like, oh, Kevin Spacey sucks though. So.
And Bryan Singer sucks though.
Yeah, they both suck, don't they? Bryan Singer and Kevin Spacey. Yeah. So let's take the idea back.
I hate it when some of, like famous, decent, people decent at their job, right? And you're like, oh, you respect them at the work that they can do, but then you find out they're a horrible human.
Yeah, right. Like every time I look in the mirror and brush my teeth. I mean, maybe that, maybe there's a little bit of Batman in all of us. Maybe there's just a little bit of Batman all around us.
Maybe we're Batman clones, we just don't realize it.
Is a Squad podcast.
You were rocking with the best. What's good, everybody? My name is Tyler Butler. I am the host of Enough with the BS podcast. We are a sports show that takes the BS out of sports, but have a little bit of fun with it as well. We do, however, dive into some deep and serious conversations, such as allegations, abuse, and injustice. So how about you join me and Josh Smith twice a month on one of the fastest growing podcasts there is out of the Carolinas. Hope you're having a good day. Squad up. I'm out.
It's Dan's bad advice column. Yeah.
Dear Dan, I hate pineapple on my pizza. I never miss a chance to complain about it. Whether it be online, at the office, funerals, while making love, I just need to be associated with hating pineapples on my pizza. Sincerely, I hate pineapple on my pizza.
Are you the type of person that has like broad public opinions about pineapple pizza? Pineapple pizza is a sin. Pineapple pizza is the best. You're fucking boring. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? If my first choice of pizza is gone, yeah, okay, well then give me a slice of pineapple, I guess. I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, pineapple pizza. I have a hard stance on that. Well, you're probably also really boring.
I half agree on that, because if you're just super against pineapple pizza and you want the whole fucking world to know it, then yeah, you're a boring fucking person. But if pineapple pizza is your favorite pizza, then that's
I'm okay with that.
Then that's just your favorite kind of thing, like Star Wars to you, Marvel to me.
Well, that's a positive. To be like to go
it's
out.
Your favorite of a thing.
Yeah, to go out and
which is perfectly natural.
Perfectly natural to go out and celebrate pineapple pizza. That's okay. That's okay.
We'll fly that pineapple pizza flag.
You might be a little boring, but that's still that's fine. That's fine. I'll take boring and positive as opposed to boring and pineapple pizza any day.
Exactly. Boring and The Last Jedi. That's just 5 ways to shitty.
Oh my god, yeah, right. I don't like pineapple pizza. Well, then what's your opinion on peace in the Middle East? Then it's just going to be it's going to be dead air after that. They've got nothing to say about that.
But if you love pineapple pizza as much as I love Moe's, then A, you're lying, and B, good for you. Because nobody loves a food more than I love Moe's.
Is Moe's paying us to say that?
No, but I just really love them.
We were just talking about Mexican food the other day and how, and you all know it out there. Like after you've met me, within 5 minutes, I'm going to be like, "I'm from California. I'm from California. I'm from Los Angeles. I'm only sort of from Los Angeles. If we're just being honest here.
5 minutes meeting me. I'm Thor. I'm some sexy Thor.
Oh my god!
I have a podcast. Listen,
the first time this guy and I met for like the first 3 hours, it was like this feedback loop. I'm Thor. I'm from California. I'm Thor. I'm from California. I'm Thor. I'm from California.
How about those Lakers? Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was the magic of magic that finally broke the cycle. Yeah, I don't want to take a diverging stance from you, boss. But the whole I'm from California. I'm going to have to say when it comes to Mexican food, South Carolina, I mean, okay, check it out. Moe's is good for Moe's. All right, I can't say it's good for Mexican food. I can say it's good for Moe's. I like Taco Bell. I eat Taco Bell. I'm not going to call it Mexican food.
True.
but I will eat
Mexican flavored fast food.
Yeah. The Onion did this whole commercial when Taco Bell went 24 hours that the reason why Taco Bell is staying open so late is in case you have a dog food emergency in the middle of the night. You need yourself some dog food at like 3 a.m. Taco Bell is there for you.
If I could get a Moe's open until 2 in the morning, that would also be fantastic.
Okay, you like Moe's, you like Moe's. That's cool. Who cares if it isn't Mexican food, right?
It's Southwest Grill. It's not south of the border grill.
It's me being passive aggressive.
So it's like Arizona food. It's not Mexican food.
You ever been
It's Moe's Southwest Grill, not Moe's south of the border grill.
You ever been to Arizona?
No.
I have. Yeah, if you're all like, pineapple pizza, then there are things when you first meet somebody or when you know someone. There are tells, so to speak, things about them that they'll say, that they'll advertise about themselves. That to me, it tells me a lot about who they are. And me, being a petty little man, I base so much on these little tells. And I have an entire encyclopedia set of fuck-ups that somebody can do to lower my opinion of them. Because, if anything, I'm always like chomping at the bit to lower my opinion of you. To bring you down to the way I feel about myself. Really. And if you're one of those people that's like, pineapple pizza, you're demoted.
Severely.
You're demoted in my book.
It's Dan's bad advice column. Yeah.
Man, I would love to be obnoxiously rich. Like, just stupid rich, So rich, like, it changes you. That would be amazing.
Yeah, they say that money can't fix things, but I would like to give it a try. Like Batman did when he fixed society with his money.
Money can't buy happiness, but it's more comfortable to cry in a Mercedes than it is on a bike.
Or, in a more similar case, it's more comfortable to cry on a Mercedes than it is a Saturn. That I know for facts.
I think it's better to cry in a Batmobile, knowing that Joker is at home painting his toenails, thumbing through your comic books, and just all having googly eyes for you.
Yeah, that's exactly what Joker would be doing.
You want to wrap this one up? Move on to the next one?
Dan.
What's up?
Let's stop this recording.
You want to stop it?
Well, it's 10 o'clock. I have to get up early and go to work.
Yeah, you're good. Let's do it.
Thunder Talk is a production of the Weirdos Workshop. Starring Adam Wedston, Kawika Allo, Dan Klink, and Beth Allo.
And remember, drink, bite, and make your ancestors proud, always.